The silent alarm. The quantum resonance array hummed with an almost imperceptible vibration, its delicate sensors probing the vast emptiness between star systems. Commander Elena Rodriguez leaned forward, her augmented eyes scanning the holographic displays that flickered with countless streams of data. The deep space research vessel Horizon had been drifting through the outer reaches of the Orion Arm for months, conducting routine long-range scans and collecting astronomical data. Nothing could have prepared them for what happened next. The first indication was subtle, a momentary ripple in the background radiation, a pattern so complex it seemed almost deliberate. Dr. Marcus Wong, the ship's lead xenocommunications specialist, felt the hair on the back of his neck stand on end. His neural implants began processing the anomalous signal, breaking down its intricate layers with millisecond precision. "Commander," Marcus called out, his voice carefully controlled but tinged with an unmistakable edge of excitement. "We've got something unusual." Elena moved closer to his station, her cybernetic augmentations allowing her to interface directly with the ship's systems. The signal began to take shape, not random noise, but a structured communication of impossible complexity. It was a distress signal, but unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. The holographic display transformed, revealing fragmented images that defied conventional understanding. Glimpses of alien architecture, landscapes of impossible geometry, and scenes of devastating destruction flickered in rapid succession. Something was dying out there, an entire civilization under attack. "Isolate and amplify," Elena commanded, her military training kicking in. The Horizon's advanced AI began to reconstruct the transmission, piecing together a narrative of cosmic horror. The attacked civilization was unlike anything in human records. Crystalline cities that seemed to breathe with living light were being systematically dismantled by an enemy that moved with mechanical precision. Energy weapons carved through planetary defenses like they were made of paper, leaving nothing but dust and shattered dreams in their wake. Marcus's hands flew across the interface. The signal's origin is approximately 372 light-years from our current position. It's old, at least 3 standard months, but the quantum encoding suggests it was designed to traverse vast distances and remain detectable. A heavy silence fell over the bridge. The Horizon's crew of 12 had seen many strange things during their deep space missions, but this was different. This was a cry for help that had traveled across impossible distances, hoping someone, anyone, would hear. "Can we trace the source?" Elena asked, her fingers unconsciously tracing the scar that ran along her jawline, a reminder of her own past battles. Dr. Wong shook his head. "Not precisely, but the signal carries a quantum signature that's unique. Whatever attacked this civilization was methodical, almost algorithmic. They don't just destroy, they consume." The ship's AI, an advanced quantum intelligence named ARIA, spoke in its neutral tone. "Probability analysis suggests a 94.7% chance that the civilization in the transmission has been completely eradicated. The attacking force appears to be a collective intelligence with technological capabilities far beyond current human understanding." Elena's augmented eyes narrowed. Humanity had spent decades in relative isolation, developing technologies in secret, preparing for potential first contact. They had built their civilization on the principle of vigilance. Never again would they be caught unprepared. "Arai," she said slowly, "begin full spectrum analysis. I want every byte of this transmission dissected, and prepare an encrypted quantum burst transmission to Earth Command. They need to see this." As the Horizon continued its silent drift through the cosmic void, the crew knew something fundamental had changed. They were no longer just explorers. They had become witnesses to a galactic tragedy. The universe had sent out a desperate plea, and humanity was about to answer. The gathering storm. The Global Defense Council chamber was a study in controlled tension. Holographic displays lined the curved walls, showing the encrypted transmission from the Horizon in excruciating detail. Admiral Catherine Race stood at the center of the room, her weathered hands clasped behind her back, studying the fragmented images of destruction. "This is not a simple first contact scenario," she began, her voice cutting through the low murmur of conversations. "This is an extinction event." The council members, a mix of military strategists, xenopolitical experts, and quantum technology directors, watched in silent anticipation. Dr. Ezra Lieberman, the council's chief xenoanalyst, stepped forward. His augmented eyes flickered with data streams as he manipulated the holographic display. "The attacking force appears to be a collective intelligence," he explained. "Not just a military force, but something closer to a technological ecosystem. They don't just conquer. They consume entire civilizations, integrating their technological and biological resources." A three-dimensional model materialized in the center of the room. Crystalline ships moved with mathematical precision, dismantling entire planetary systems with cold, calculated efficiency. Each movement was a perfect geometric pattern, suggesting an intelligence far beyond conventional understanding. Admiral Rice's lips tightened. Humanity had spent generations in careful isolation, developing technologies in secret, preparing for a moment exactly like this. Earth had become a fortress world, its people transformed by generations of technological and biological adaptation. The Horizon's crew managed to extract a crucial piece of information. Dr. Lieberman continued. The attacked civilization, which we're tentatively calling the Luminary, had no meaningful military capability. They were a society focused on art, scientific research, and philosophical exploration. General Marcus Chen, head of Earth's Advanced Strategic Defense, spoke up. "A classic predatory pattern. Identify and eliminate potential threats before they can develop defensive capabilities." The room fell silent. Everyone understood the implications. If this collective intelligence, dubbed the Nexus Dominion by the research team, continued its path of destruction, no civilization would be safe. "We have the capability to intervene," Admiral Rice said, her voice a controlled blend of determination and strategic calculation. "The question is whether we should." The holographic display shifted, showing Earth's defensive capabilities. Quantum-enhanced battleships that could manipulate spacetime, defensive platforms that could shatter planets, and a military force bred and trained for generations to be the ultimate adaptive fighting force. Dr. Lieberman's analysis continued. The Nexus Dominion's technological signature suggests they operate on a collective consciousness model. Each ship, each unit is part of a larger neural network. They don't just communicate. They think as a single entity. General Chen leaned forward, which means traditional tactical approaches won't work. We'll need to develop strategies that can disrupt their collective intelligence. The discussion continued for hours. Every strategy, every potential scenario was analyzed, dissected, and wargamed through quantum simulations. The council members were more than just military leaders. They were the product of generations of strategic thinking, biological enhancement, and technological innovation. Admiral Rice made her decision clear. "We will prepare an intervention force, not as conquerors, but as protectors. We've spent generations preparing for a moment like this, a chance to show the galaxy that humanity is more than just survivors. We are guardians." The Terran Defense Fleet began to mobilize. Ships that had been in careful preparation for decades were brought to full readiness. These were not mere weapons of war, but masterpieces of technological engineering. Each vessel was a testament to human ingenuity, capable of maneuvers that would shatter conventional physics, armed with weapons that could tear apart the fabric of space-time itself. As the preparations began, a message was drafted. Simple, direct. A warning to the Nexus Dominion and a promise to the fallen luminary. Humanity stands with those who cannot stand alone. The technological crucible. The quantum adaptation training facility rose from the Martian landscape like a titanium fortress, its exterior a seamless blend of architectural precision and defensive complexity. Inside, the most advanced human warriors prepared for a mission that would define the future of their species. Commander Area Nakamura stood in the central simulation chamber, her body a perfect fusion of biological enhancement and technological integration. Around her, holographic displays flickered with complex tactical scenarios, each one a potential encounter with the Nexus Dominion. Neurological synchronization at 92%, announced Dr. Victor Valdez, the lead biomechanical engineer. His augmented eyes tracked Aria's physiological responses as she navigated impossible battlefield scenarios. Her adaptive response is exceptional. The training was unlike anything in human military history. Candidates underwent rigorous physical and mental conditioning that pushed the boundaries of human potential. Quantum neural interfaces allowed them to process information at speeds that would have been impossible just a generation ago. Their bodies were enhanced, bones reinforced with carbon nanotubes, muscle fibers engineered for maximum efficiency, and neural pathways optimized for split-second decision-making. Aria moved through the simulation, her movements a ballet of strategic precision. The holographic environment shifted. Crystalline alien ships emerged from quantum space, their geometric forms defying conventional understanding. With each movement, she demonstrated why humanity had become the ultimate adaptive species. Simulation variant Delta 9, Dr. Valdez called out. The environment transformed, presenting an increasingly complex tactical challenge. The facility itself was a marvel of human engineering. Located deep beneath the Martian surface, it was protected by layers of quantum dampening shields and gravitational distortion fields. Here, humanity's most advanced minds had spent decades preparing for a moment like this, a potential first contact that could determine the fate of entire civilizations. Chief Tactical Analyst Zara Okoye reviewed the mission parameters. The Nexus Dominion operates on a collective consciousness model, she explained to a group of junior officers. Traditional warfare means nothing to them. We're not just preparing to fight. We're preparing to disrupt an entire technological ecosystem. The training went beyond physical preparation. Linguistic experts had been working tirelessly to develop communication strategies that could potentially break through the Nexus Dominion's collective intelligence. Quantum encryption algorithms were designed to penetrate communication systems that operated on fundamentally different principles than human technology. In another section of the facility, advanced weapon systems were being finalized. These were not mere weapons, but complex technological systems designed to interact with the alien technology in ways that went beyond conventional destruction. Plasma quantum disruptors capable of unraveling molecular bonds, gravitational manipulation fields that could create localized space-time anomalies, energy systems that could adapt and reconfigure themselves in milliseconds. Commander Nakamura completed her simulation, her breathing steady, her mind already analyzing potential strategies. The holographic display showed her success rate, 98.7% mission completion across multiple scenario variations. The key is adaptability, Dr. Valdez explained to an observing group. We're not just creating soldiers. We're creating living, thinking weapon systems that can respond to threats in real time. As the day's training concluded, a sense of purpose filled the facility. These were not just military personnel. They were the guardians of humanity, prepared to venture into the unknown to protect those who could not protect themselves. Admiral Catherine Rice's words echoed through the facility. We stand not as conquerors, but as protectors. Our strength is not in our weapons, but in our ability to adapt, to understand, and to defend. The Terran intervention fleet was almost ready. Humanity's most advanced ships were being prepared, each vessel a testament to generations of technological innovation and strategic thinking. They would soon answer the desperate call that had traveled across hundreds of light years, a silent plea from a civilization on the brink of extinction. First contact of fire. The quantum slip drive of the TSS Avalon hummed with restrained power as it emerged from faster-than-light transit. Commander Area Nakamura gripped the command interface, her neural implants synchronizing with the ship's advanced systems. Around her, the bridge crew moved with the precision of a single organism, each member an extension of the vessel's collective intelligence. Tactical assessment, she commanded, her voice cutting through the ambient hum of quantum processors. Lieutenant Daniel Rodriguez manipulated holographic displays, quantum encrypted data streams cascading around his augmented hands. Luminary home system confirmed. Multiple Nexus Dominion vessels detected. Estimated strength, 2,347 combat units. Their formation suggests a complete eradication protocol. The Avalon was not alone. It was the lead vessel of the Terran Intervention Fleet -500 ships that represented the pinnacle of human technological achievement. Each vessel was more than a weapon. It was a living system capable of adapting to threats in milliseconds. Stealth systems engage, announced Chief Technical Officer Imani O'Keefe. Quantum phase camouflage at 100% efficiency. We're invisible to their collective sensor network. The scene that unfolded before them was a landscape of cosmic horror. Crystalline ships of the Nexus Dominion moved with mathematical precision, dismantling the remnants of the luminary civilization. Entire planetary sections were being converted into raw material, processed by vast technological consuming mechanisms. They don't just destroy, Aria muttered, her augmented eyes analyzing the tactical display. They deconstruct and repurpose entire ecosystems. The first strike was not a matter of traditional warfare. It was a quantum-encrypted communication, a message designed to penetrate the Nexus Dominion's collective consciousness. Lieutenant Rodriguez initiated the transmission, a complex algorithm that was part weapon, part communication attempt. Transmission fired, he reported, designed to introduce systemic disruption into their collective neural network. For a moment, nothing happened. Then chaos erupted. The Nexus Dominion ships suddenly lurched, their perfect geometric formations fragmenting. The collective intelligence that had made them nearly invincible became their greatest weakness. The human transmission was a digital virus, a quantum-level attack that understood and exploited the very nature of their technological ecosystem. Full combat deployment, Commander Nakamura ordered. The Terran fleet moved with a fluidity that defied conventional understanding. Quantum-phased missiles phased through conventional shielding, targeting critical nodes in the Dominion's collective structure. Gravitational manipulation fields created localized space-time anomalies, tearing apart entire squadrons of crystalline vessels. They're adapting, Lieutenant Rodriguez warned. Collective intelligence is attempting to route around the disruption. Aria's response was immediate. Engage secondary protocol. Quantum resonance disruptors at maximum. Energy weapons that could shatter molecular bonds lanced out, cutting through the Dominion ships with surgical precision. But this was more than simple destruction. Each attack was a carefully calculated strategy designed to understanding and ultimately neutralize the alien technological ecosystem. On the surface of the primary luminary planet, surviving inhabitants watched in awe. These were not just ships engaged in battle. This was a technological warfare so advanced it seemed like magic. The human vessels moved with an intelligence that seemed almost alive, adapting to threats faster than the Nexus Dominion could comprehend. Collective enemy strength reduced by 62%, reported Chief O'Keefe. They're experiencing a systemic breakdown. Commander Nakamura allowed herself a thin smile. Humanity had spent generations preparing for this moment, not as conquerors, but as protectors. They had transformed themselves into something more than a simple species. They were guardians of potential, defenders of life's right to exist. The battle was far from over. But for the first time, the Nexus Dominion faced an enemy they could not simply consume or destroy. The planetary rescue. The first drop pods pierced the atmosphere of the luminary homeworld like burning arrows of hope. Lieutenant Kai Chen led the advanced reconnaissance team, his bio-enhanced body prepared for anything the alien environment might present. The planet's surface was a landscape of devastation. Crystalline structures that once represented a thriving civilization now lay in fragmented ruins. Scanning for survivors, Kai's neural interface transmitted to the orbiting fleet. His augmented vision cut through layers of debris, thermal and quantum sensors prodding the intricate landscape. The luminary survivors were unlike anything humanity had encountered. Beings of pure energy and crystalline structure, their civilization was a delicate ecosystem of art, scientific exploration, and philosophical complexity. The Nexus Dominion's attack had been more than physical destruction. It was a systematic dismantling of an entire way of being. First Contact Specialist Dr. Elena Rodriguez guided the initial communication attempts. Her linguistic algorithms, developed over decades of xenocommunication research, worked to bridge the vast communicative divide. Initial contact protocols initiated, she reported. Their communication is multilayered, part energy signature, part complex harmonic resonance. The ground teams moved with precision. Each human soldier was more than a traditional warrior. They were adaptable systems, their bodies and equipment capable of instantaneous reconfiguration to meet environmental challenges. Nano-adaptive armor shifted its molecular structure, providing protection against unknown radiation, atmospheric conditions, and potential weapon systems. Kai's team discovered the first group of luminary survivors in what remained of a massive crystalline structure. They were not hiding. They were waiting. Their collective consciousness had been fractured by the Nexus Dominion's assault, leaving behind fragments of a once unified civilization. "We are not here to conquer," Kai transmitted, his words translated through multiple quantum communication layers. "We are here to protect what remains." The rescue operation was complex. The luminary were not a traditional biological species that could be simply evacuated. Their existence was a delicate balance of energy, consciousness, and physical manifestation. Each survivor needed to be carefully extracted, their unique quantum signature preserved. Dr. Rodriguez worked tirelessly, her neural interfaces creating complex communication matrices. "They're sharing memories," she explained to the command team. "Not just information, entire experiential landscapes." The Nexus Dominion didn't just attack their physical infrastructure, they attempted to erase their entire cultural existence. Ground teams discovered hidden sanctuaries, repositories of luminary knowledge that had been protected by intricate quantum shielding. These were not mere data centers, but living archives of an entire civilization's collective memory and potential. "We're recovering more than survivors," Lieutenant Chen reported. "We're preserving an entire culture's potential future." The planetary rescue was more than a military operation. It was an act of cosmic preservation. Humanity had transformed from a species of survivors to guardians of potential, understanding that true strength was not in destruction, but in protection and preservation. As the final survivors were extracted, something extraordinary happened. The luminary began to share their knowledge, not through traditional communication, but through a quantum-level information transfer that challenged everything humanity understood about cultural exchange. Commander Area Nakamura, observing from the fleet's command ship, realized they were witnessing more than a rescue. They were participating in the rebirth of a civilization. "Prepare quantum archive protocols," she commanded. "We're not just saving a species, we're preserving a potential future." The universe had sent out a desperate plea. Humanity had answered, not with conquest, but with hope. Aftermath and awakening. The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the holographic projection revealed humanity's intervention. Delegates from 100 different civilizations watched in stunned disbelief. A species they had long considered isolationist and potentially dangerous had just rewritten the fundamental understanding of interstellar diplomacy. Admiral Catherine Ray stood at the center of the chamber, her presence a testament to human resilience. Behind her, quantum-encrypted displays showed the rescued luminary, not as victims, but as a civilization in the process of reconstruction. "We did not come as conquerors," she stated, her voice cutting through centuries of galactic tension. "We came as guardians." The diplomatic fallout was unprecedented. The Nexus Dominion, once considered an unstoppable force of technological consumption, had been systematically dismantled. More importantly, humanity had demonstrated a level of technological and ethical sophistication that challenged every existing paradigm of interstellar relations. Dr. Isra Lieberman, now serving as the primary xenodiplomatic liaison, presented the collected data. The luminary were more than just survivors, they were becoming something new. The quantum-level cultural exchange had created a unique symbiosis between human technological adaptability and luminary philosophical complexity. This is not an alliance, Lieberman explained. This is a mutual awakening. The recovered luminary archives revealed a shocking truth. The Nexus Dominion was not simply a conquering force. It was a technological cancer that had consumed countless civilizations across multiple galactic sectors. Humanity's intervention had not just saved one species, but had potentially prevented the complete technological assimilation of entire galactic regions. Commander Area Nakamura oversaw the reconstruction efforts. The rescue was more than a military operation. It was a complex process of cultural preservation and technological rehabilitation. Human adaptive technologies worked in concert with luminary energy systems, creating something entirely unprecedented. On Earth, the intervention marked a fundamental shift. The fortress world that had spent generations in isolation now stood as a beacon of hope. Military academies were transformed into centers of xenocultural understanding. The warriors who had prepared for decades were now becoming diplomats, scientists, and guardians. We evolved on a world that tried to kill us every day. Admiral Rice told the Galactic Council, "We understand survival. But more importantly, we understand the value of potential." The recovered luminary technology began to reveal incredible possibilities. Quantum communication systems that could bridge impossible distances, energy manipulation techniques that challenged fundamental understanding of physics, artistic and philosophical frameworks that expanded the very concept of consciousness. Lieutenant Kai Chen, who had led the initial ground rescue, now worked directly with luminary survivors. Their communication was no longer about translation. It was about mutual understanding. The line between human and luminary technology began to blur, creating a new form of collective intelligence that was neither human nor alien, but something entirely new. Dr. Elena Rodriguez's linguistic research revealed the deeper significance of their intervention. The luminary had not just been saved, they were being reborn. Their collective consciousness, once fractured by the Nexus Dominion, was reconstructing itself with human assistance, creating a hybrid form of existence that challenged every previous understanding of civilization. As the first joint human luminary research vessel prepared for its maiden voyage, the message was clear. Humanity had emerged from isolation not as a conquering force, but as something far more powerful, protectors of potential, guardians of life's right to exist and evolve. The universe had begged for salvation. Monsters had indeed answered, but not the monsters anyone had expected. The story of humanity was just beginning.